Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 modding video. Today we're checking out some more Fallout 4 mods by many authors. Some of these are brand new, and some of these are some classics that I never really got around to reviewing, some of which may have just been coming out when I was taking some time off. Now then, we have a lot to talk about today, including 3 brand new armor mods and 2 brand new weapon mods, some of my favorite types of mods to cover. Now then, in terms of armors, we've got a bunch of new lore-friendly sets, and I'd say the same is true for the weapons we're checking out as well. Lots of really cool stuff, but it's still a good bit of variety. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in with the first mob we're checking out, which is the Survivalist and Mysterious Stranger outfit by Tumbajamba. Now, this mod is going to add 2 new outfit sets into the game that you can equip to your character. Sadly, as is the case with most Tumbajamba mods, these are not added to the leveled list. Instead, they're actually going to be sent directly into your inventory when you first launch the game after downloading this mod. And that's not the first time you're going to hear me say this today. Tumbajamba's been on a roll, releasing all kinds of really cool lore-friendly armors, and this mod is very special. I saw him making it in progress, and I really dug one of these outfits, and he ended up releasing it as a nice little 2-pack. 2 little outfits for the price of 1 mod. Very cool stuff. Now, the first of these 2 outfit sets is known as the Survivalist armor, which is going to comprise of a ton of really cool pieces, including a nice leather jacket, a really cool helmet and gas mask that actually has a tiny bit of customization. You can have the mask equipped, or you can have it hanging down around your neck. You have a lot of little accessories like pouches, some binoculars, a canteen, and lots of armor plating as well. This looks like something that somebody in the Wasteland would be wearing for not only style, but also protection. Something that's really cool, fits the aesthetic of Fallout very well, and even has some cool Mad Maxy vibes. But on top of that, we get one more armor set known as the Mysterious Stranger set, which is going to have a similar look, but it is a different outfit altogether. Instead of metal plates, we do have leather pieces, as well as some more leather jackets and some nice pants, and then a head wrap with some goggles. So it's a lot lighter of a set, but a totally different aesthetic. So you get 2 different options here. And of course, these outfits are yours, so you can do with them what you wish. You could wear them yourself, or you could give it to a companion if you think it fits them well enough. Alternatively, you can give it to settlers, even though I'm pretty sure these are one of a kind, unless you decide to spawn them in. Again, I'd love to see this kind of stuff added to leveled lists, or at the very least be craftable, but for now, all they are is spawned directly into your inventory, which works well enough for me and what I do, but if you want to have a better injection into your game, you can always edit it for yourself. Either way, a really cool set of armors from Tumbajamba, but that's not the last you're going to hear of Tumbajamba in this video. But first, we need to check out a brand new weapon mod known as Alex's Scrap Shotgun, a 20-gauge pump-action shotgun for the early game. Yes, that is the full name of this weapon, but I'll just be referring to it as the Scrap Shotgun. This is a new weapon released by Alexerator, a breakaway from his PBW project to make something new and original. A scrappy shotgun that isn't exactly a pipe gun, a little nicer than that, but not quite the quality of, say, with the handmade rifle from Nuka World. Something in between, made of scrap metal and pieces of wood, completely hand-constructed, not based on any real weapon, but a little higher quality than the vanilla pipe guns. Not as rusty and not as, well, ugly. This thing's really cool. It's got a very unique shape. It's a pump-action shotgun. It does use 20-gauge from munitions, so this is going to require munitions for that. And it's going to be one of the first dedicated 20 gauges that I've seen on the Nexus. There's a few out there, including my lever-action shotgun, but this one did come first. The idea for this is definitely to come before any of the 12 gauges in the vanilla game. Sadly, the vanilla double barrel does spawn at level 1. However, I actually have a fix for that. If you go over to my mod pages, you can find that I do have a fix that will move the double barrel to spawn later in the game. So 20 gauge actually has a place in the early game, which was perfect for Alex's Scrap Shotgun. This thing, of course, has a ton of attachments over at the weapons workbench that can change how this thing looks. That's going to include both plastic and wood furniture, a bunch of optics, and different options that make this weapon function differently, including some very bizarre sub-ammo types. Of course, they're all going to be 20 gauge, but the shells are very different, and that includes things like duck shot. That's not buckshot, that's duck shot. He shoots rubber duckies. I don't know why he did that, but it is an option. This mod also includes a couple of uniques that you can find, and is of course added to the level list, so you will be able to find this thing out in the world. It will start spawning after level 3 on raiders, gunners, minutemen, and of course you can purchase it from vendors. Now then, additionally, there is a unique that you can find known as Festivities, and that thing can be found over in the Corvega assembly plant. And this thing's got a very interesting effect that I don't know if I want to spoil in this video. I think it's something that's worth finding out for yourself because it's pretty dang funny. So yeah, if you're into scrappy pipe weapons, this is definitely going to be a great one to check out for your load order, and 20 gauge is not something we have a lot of, so if you want to make use of that munitions ammo type, this is one I'd recommend picking up. If you want a new scrappy shotgun, this one's great. Alexerator always does really cool stuff, and it's nice to see something original from Alex. Very cool, a really neat weapon. Now then, we're moving on to yet another armor mod, not just any armor mod, but another Tumbajamba armor mod, and that is going to be the Deathclaw Hunter armor. This is an armor set that's really, really cool and something I've been wanting in Fallout for a long time because it's made entirely out of Deathclaw hide. So the idea is you are a Deathclaw hunter. You hunted down the Deathclaws and now you have an armor made entirely of its hide. And that includes a big pauldron made out of a Deathclaw head. It's wrapped all around you with its scales and hide, and as well as claws hanging around your chest. It looks absolutely insane. Really, really cool stuff. This comes not only with a full armor set, but also a really cool helmet that is going to be a complete cowl with goggles, also made out of Deathclaw hide. A really, really interesting set. I think this is cool for a late game character who has really spent a lot of time in the wasteland, killing pretty much everything in their path, and that of course includes Deathclaws. Using the most heavily armored native creature to the wasteland, you now have some of the heaviest armor you can probably make. Now, unlike the last mod, actually, it's not directly added into your inventory. Instead, this one is going to need to be found, but it's not very hard to find. It is located in Tumba's trunk, which is found at the very first red rocket that you find right outside of Sanctuary. So you head over there and there is a big trunk that contains this armor. Sadly, it is added to a pretty early game location, which means it's not too hard to get for a pretty cool looking late game armor set, but that's just how Tumbajamba decided to integrate it. He doesn't do leveled lists typically, and quite frankly, I wouldn't see this one on the leveled list anyways. This seems more like something you'd be able to craft out of Deathclaw hides, but instead you just go ahead and get this thing. A lot of armor mods seem to be integrated that way, but again, once you get this thing, you can choose to integrate it however you want. Some simple CK edits or X edit if you're into that kind of thing, and you can add this to the leveled list or crafting menu or however you'd like it to be integrated into your game. At the very least, you have a very, very cool armor set to work with. There's even some add-ons already for this thing that add different color options and different crafting options, so go ahead and check this thing out and its requirements if you want even more options for this set. It's a really, really cool one. Tumbajamba always makes really cool stuff, and it's usually mostly vanilla assets, which is even more impressive. So great stuff as always. Can't wait to see what else Tumbajamba cooks up. Now next we do have a brand new weapon mod known as the Fission Gun. This is going to be a standalone version of the Gamma Gun Replacer Redux by Mikolov, and this standalone version is made by Harmonica. Now that is also going to include not only the vanilla stuff from the Mikolov mod, but also a ton of new stuff that Harmonica has added to this standalone weapon. The idea is this is a brand new energy weapon for the Children of Atom in the form of the Fission Gun. This is actually a mod that kind of existed before. There's something like that in my load order already, but this is going to be a complete redux with new attachments and tons of them. And this thing is going to be a completely new experience. Nothing like the vanilla laser gun like the old one was. This one is very, very different with lots of cool sci-fi parts. This thing is neat. Now, this thing has over 60 modifications, all with unique brand new custom meshes. Now, some of them are nif-bashed, of course, but still, that is a ton of modifications. And there's even some unique modifications, like, say, if you get Lorenzo's artifact, you can actually throw that on here as well as an attachment to utilize it, sort of like the Lorenzo's artifact gun. Now, this weapon does use vanilla animations using the laser rifle rig, but that is just fine. If you'd like to get your hands on this weapon, it is luckily very much added to the leveled lists, and will start spawning on the Children of Atom at level 4, which is just wonderful. More Children of Atom weapons is excellent because they don't get a ton in the vanilla game. So having something brand new as a new energy weapon in a very underutilized type, and that is radiation damage, is really, really cool, and we get it for a faction that is also underrepresented. This is a very cool weapon mod, very lore friendly, and it just fits the vanilla aesthetic since it is using mostly vanilla assets. Altogether, this makes for a wonderful little package. Very similar to the original Fission Gun mod if you remember that one, but this one is completely overhauled, brand new attachments, and it's just massive, the amount of content that is in here. It's actually hard to show it all in one little segment, but Harmonica did an amazing job. This is a really, really cool redux of the original. Super cool stuff. Can't wait to see what they decide to do moving forward. I know they have been talking about more energy weapon stuff, so I'm excited to see where that goes. And finally, that leaves one more set of armor, and that's going to be the Minutemen Enforcer armor by Ares. This is going to be a brand new set of Minutemen armor that comes with a few extra goodies in this mod. Now, the base set of armor in this mod is going to be a heavily armored piece for the Minutemen, and it is one of a kind. So sadly, these are not added to the level list like I'd like them to be. Instead, you're actually going to have to go find them. So the standard set is going to be found pretty much by following the path of the Minutemen in the vanilla game. If you do the quest line, eventually you will end up following all of the dead Minutemen until you find yourself in Super Duper Mart. That is a little bit out of the way, but there are a lot of dead Minutemen there, and one of them, who happens to be named Josh, is going to be wearing this outfit, and that's where you get to pick it up for yourself. This armor consists of some huge armor plating on the shoulder pauldrons as well as the chest piece, and you also get a nice helmet to go with it, and it also has a nice Minutemen uniform underneath all of that armor. There's some really cool accessories like different pouches, knives, and a flare gun. Definitely fits the Minutemen aesthetic, and it even has some nice markings on there to remind you that it is a Minutemen armor set. But it's not just this armor set. There are actually a couple of uniques, which is a funny thing considering the main armor is also unique. But the uniques have a different aesthetic that are not necessarily Minutemen themed. The first of which is going to be an entire armor set, not only a new armor, but a new helmet as well, and that's going to be the Turncoat set. And that's going to represent the Minutemen who decided they no longer wish to be a part of the Minutemen, including one worn by James Wire in Libertalia. So that is a Minuteman who decided to be a Raider, and so it's going to be the same armor set but with Raider markings instead of Minutemen markings. So if you're into that kind of thing, it's a pretty cool set if you're deciding to play a Raider character. Additionally, there is a new helmet that you can also get that has been seized by Raiders, and that's going to be Ace's Lucky Helmet. If you want to get your hands on that one, it is also found in the Corvega loot room, back where you actually kill the boss at the end of the Corvega dungeon, which is funny because that's where we find one of the weapons uniques, Alex's scrap shotgun. So you can actually pick up both of those in one haul if you decided to download all the mods today. Altogether though, we have some really cool new Minutemen armors from Aries. Can't wait to see what else they do. I know they are planning to do even more of these, so I'm excited to see what those are, but this one for now is a pretty cool set. So if you enjoy this or any of the other mods we talked about today, you can download them all in the link down in the description below. As always, if you enjoy the work I do here on YouTube or the mods that I make myself that I cover on individual videos, you can of course support my work directly using the link down in the description below to support me on Patreon. Of course, check out all of these mod pages as well, as there's usually Patreon links for all of these authors if you'd like to support their work additionally. These are always optional things, but it really helps us out and gets us to be able to make even more content for you guys. So go ahead and check those out, but as always, it is completely optional. With that, as always, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!